Hey, what's up, guys? Bucky here. Just wanted to check in. Just getting done with a client, and I wanted to share some of the insights that come up when working with a bunch of different clients. I work with different speakers, presenters, and coaches, help them to define their message and just get really clear about their business and how to structure their business and how to structure their content and curriculum so they can create a greater impact. It's pretty interesting working with a bunch of these different people. First of all, exceptional people all over the planet, which is awesome. But there's so many times, when people come to work with me, that it's really the biggest thing that I can do for them is allow them to see the elements of their business or the elements of their content that they can't see for themselves. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that from a content perspective. It's looking at the position that you're really in and what expertise that you're actually really providing. So I have an example of someone that I'm working with currently, and he's, for the longest time, he's been a yoga teacher trainer, and he's running a yoga retreat, level 1 certification yoga retreat, sometime in May this next year. And for the longest time, he's always viewed himself as a yoga instructor. And we've had conversations about him coming out to LA and doing some work over here. And he said, why would I come to LA? It's like one of the most saturated places for yoga teachers. And I said, you're missing it, brother. You're not a yoga teacher. And the pivot that we've supported him, and I do a lot of work with my partner, Leah. And I know that you guys have seen her on this page as well. And we kind of work with different clients and coaches and help them to get really specific on some things. But the pivot for him has been about moving away from him being a yoga teacher to him being a leader in spiritual development, and that's really his work. And one of the vehicles that he uses is yoga in order for people to get into that, not only that spiritual development, but also that personal development. And that's kind of one of his tools among many tools. And it's that kind of shift, that type of pivot that really makes a massive difference in people's businesses. So I guess the conversation and the invitation is that, first of all, there's so many steps that we can go into, and it's part of my practice within myself, right? It's like, there's a lot that I do. I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of facilitation and training. I'm going to Bermuda in the next couple weeks. I'm working with a bunch of at-risk youth out there, and that's part of what I do. But am I a speaker? Yes, in some ways that's part of what I do, and really what I do is I'm a speaker's coach. I coach speakers to not only develop their message, but also to develop their business. And that's kind of my juxtaposition and how I position myself a little bit differently. And there was a long time, and you can imagine what that looks like, right? When you're building a business and you're in kind of the wrong lane. And so what's so valuable about coaching is to have people with an expertise to be able to see a perspective that you can't see. So part of the reason why I share this message is because I know that a lot of us are out there building businesses, looking at how we can add value, and how we can create leverage for ourselves and in our companies. And a big part of it is making sure that we are just in the right space. And then inviting people that we trust and love and care about that have an expertise in that space to kind of see our business for what it really is and our true value. And I've offered a couple different things out there, and I want to just remind you of them because I think they're incredibly valuable, is that timeline exercise where you go through the different watermarks of your life and you look at the different stories and you look at the different events and you look at the different meaning or the curriculums or the lessons that you've learned throughout your life is such an important process. And I know I've said it a lot, but for anybody who is currently in a business or is looking to establish their message, it's such a valuable tool because it will train you in so many ways. You'll get to see what your true content and curriculum is. You'll get to overlay that content and curriculum with other people's content and curriculum and see kind of what matches up and what makes sense. You get to see how you can provide more value in your industry than anybody else. You're also going to get to see your clientele, right? Because when we talk about coaching or mentorship, you can only coach or mentor in what you've already completed, right? So your role as a coach or mentor is to guide people through a process based on the experience and give them some insights in order to accelerate that process and alleviate of some of the time pains or the personal pain points of doing things over and over again, or accelerate the results that they can get through your coaching. So if you look at your timeline, all that expertise will start to lay out for yourself, and all your content and curriculum will also start to lay out. And it's such a cool process to go through, and then to have somebody guide you through. So one of the things that I offer on Facebook is I offer the free consults, right? So if you're interested, I work with people from all over the world, but I'm happy to meet with you guys kind of free of cost, just for like 30 minutes to talk about, 15 to 30 minutes to kind of talk about that timeline exercise. Once you've completed the exercise, I could talk to you about what the kind of the next steps are, and looking at breaking down that timeline and looking at all the different details that are within that, and it takes a level of expertise to do that. So that's something that I invite for you guys to do. And whether you feel like you're at a place where you're at a place to have that conversation or not, I definitely suggest to do the timeline exercise, just because there's so much value there. And a lot of people get kind of caught up, and what I want to share is a lot of people get caught up with looking for solutions outside of the things that they're already doing. My suggestion is to look for the solution within the thing that you're already doing, but just looking at doing it differently and not changing your expertise, not changing the things that you do, but changing the ways in how you deliver that message. And that becomes something that's a really incredible insight for business, for content and curriculum, for life in general. So just some love out to you guys. Hopefully that's valuable. If you have questions, please post and comment below. If you have somebody that might be interested in this content and curriculum of message development and speakers training, then also comment them or share that with them. And follow me on this page. I'll send you guys lots of love. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.